Hello everyone, welcome to day 1 of our 30-day English Learning Challenge. I'm so glad you are here. For the next 30 days, we will learn English through powerful stories, real-life situations, and easy words. Every day, you will hear a new story. These stories will help you understand how people speak in real life. Today's story is called A Day in Emma's New City. Listen carefully, try to understand the meaning, and don't worry if you don't understand every word. Let's begin today's journey together. Emma had just moved to a new city. She had packed all her bags the night before, said goodbye to her small hometown, and now stood in the middle of a busy street, in a place she had never seen before. Everything was new. The roads were wide, the buildings were tall, and people walked quickly, looking busy. Emma felt a little scared, but also excited. She took a deep breath and smiled to herself. "This is the beginning of something new," she whispered. She walked down the street with her backpack. She didn't know where to go first. She needed to buy food, find her apartment, and maybe meet new people. She saw a small cafe on the corner and decided to go inside. The cafe was warm and smelled like coffee and fresh bread. She walked to the counter and smiled at the man standing there. "Hi," she said. "I just moved here. Can I get a cup of tea, please?" The man smiled back. "Of course. Welcome to the city. First day, huh?" Emma nodded. "You'll get used to it. Everyone feels lost at first, but after a while, this city starts to feel like home." Emma took her tea and sat by the window. She looked outside and saw cars passing by, people talking on phones, a mother holding her child's hand, and a group of students laughing as they walked past the cafe. The city was full of life. Emma sipped her tea slowly and thought about all the things she wanted to do here. She wanted to find a job, make friends, and learn something new every day. After finishing her tea, she asked the cafe owner for directions to her new apartment. He took out a small paper and drew a simple map for her. "It's only 10 minutes from here," he said kindly. Emma thanked him and started walking again. She followed the street signs and the little map. She noticed how every road had a different name. Some names were easy to say, like Green Street or Park Lane. Others were hard, like Weatherstone Avenue. She said each name out loud to help herself remember them. Finally, she reached her apartment building. It was tall and had a small garden outside. There were a few flowers and a bench under a tree. She walked inside, climbed 3 flights of stairs and found her room. The key worked perfectly. When she opened the door, she smiled. The apartment was small but clean. There was a kitchen, a small sofa, a bed, and a big window with sunlight pouring in. She placed her bags on the floor and sat down. "I made it," she said with a smile. After resting for a while, Emma unpacked her bags. She put her books on a shelf, her clothes in a small cupboard, and her laptop on the desk. She took out a notebook and wrote a sentence. "Day 1, I moved to a new city." Then she added, "It was scary, but I did it. I even talked to someone today." Later, Emma decided to go to the park near her building. The cafe owner had told her about it. She took her phone and walked slowly. The sun was starting to set, and the sky turned orange and pink. Birds were flying back to their trees. The park had green grass, children playing, and people sitting on benches. Some people were walking dogs, others were jogging. Emma sat under a tree and watched everything. She loved how the park felt peaceful, even though the city was so busy. An old woman sat next to her. She had white hair and wore a red scarf. She smiled at Emma and said, "Are you new here?" Emma nodded. "Yes, I moved today." "Welcome," the old woman said kindly. "I've lived here for 40 years. It's a big city, but it has a kind heart. You'll like it here." They talked for a few minutes. The old woman told her about a library nearby, a good bakery, and the best day to visit the market. Emma listened carefully. She liked how the woman spoke slowly and clearly. She thanked her and promised to visit the library soon. After the sun went down, Emma walked back home. The street lights were on now. People were still walking around. She passed a bookstore and made a note to visit it later. She also saw a small language school with a sign that said, "Learn English here." She smiled and thought about joining it. But then she said to herself, "I can learn English by living here, by talking to people, and by listening carefully. Every day will teach me something." At home, she cooked a simple dinner, rice and vegetables. She watched a video in English while eating. The video showed people talking in real-life situations. She repeated the sentences out loud. "Can you help me, please?" she said, copying the speaker. "Where is the nearest bus stop?" She tried again. She laughed at her own accent, but kept trying. Before going to bed, Emma looked out the window. The city lights sparkled. Cars moved like fireflies. She felt tired, but happy. She had done so many things in one day. She opened her notebook again and wrote more. "I went to a cafe. I spoke to a kind man. I found my apartment. I met a sweet old woman. I learned new words. I even spoke in English. I'm proud of myself." Then she added one last sentence. "Tomorrow, I will learn something new again." As she closed her notebook and turned off the light, Emma felt a soft feeling in her heart. She didn't know everything. She wasn't perfect. But she was brave. She had taken the first step. And you, listening to this story today, have also taken your first step. Learning English is not just about grammar or words. It's about living, trying, speaking, listening, and growing. Every little sentence you learn makes you stronger. Every new word is like a key that opens a new door. Keep walking like Emma. Keep learning like Emma. And soon this language will feel like home to you. Thank you for joining day 1 of this journey. I hope you enjoyed Emma's story. If you liked it, let me know in the comments. What was your favourite part of today's story? And can you write one sentence about what you learned today? Share it below. Learn English like this every day, one simple story at a time. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss day 2. Tomorrow we'll have another beautiful story that will help you learn more words and become more confident. See you tomorrow. Take care and keep learning.